Hello and welcome to the Mitre10 Cup Round 8 predictions brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, your best place for rugby predictions and opinion. And sorry, it did say round 7 on the thumbnail, but there you go, we'll change that. So here we are. These are the fixtures we have coming up for you this round. Otago versus Bay of Plenty, Wellington versus Auckland, Hawke's Bay versus Manawatu, Northland versus Waikato, North Harbour versus Counties Manukau, Canterbury versus Taranaki, Southland versus Bay of Plenty, and Otago versus Tasman. Unfortunately, in this round, I can only make one game because basically, if you take half the teams, they're all kind of in the north half of the North Island. So you've got Northland, North Harbour, Auckland, Waikato, Counties, Waikato, Bay of Plenty, and Taranaki. And only two of those are playing at home this weekend, and they're playing back-to-back games. So Northland playing, and half an hour later, North Harbour playing, and that's a couple of hour drive. So sorry, I can't make more than one game this weekend, this round. So yes, so I'm off all the way up to Northland for Northland versus Waikato. That'll be the 8th province I have visited this season, making it I visited over half the provinces this year. So yeah, Northland, obviously the last one there. I've also been to North Harbour already, Auckland, Counties Manukau, Waikato, Bay of Plenty, Taranaki, and Manawatu. So yeah, 8 out of the 14 teams. Yay! What a good old. I think that's a pretty impressive achievement. Anyway, so how's this round going to go? Bay of Otago and Bay of Plenty have got their storm, are in the middle of their storm weeks, and they meet first up. Now, Bay of Plenty won their first two games of the season, both against Premiership opposition from memory, because they beat Taranaki and then Counties Manukau. Admittedly, the two Premiership teams that are fighting it out for relegation, but since then they have lost 5 on the trot. They've not been helped by the loss of Delaney at 10, and then also Mitchell, I think it is, broke his ankle at the weekend. They're back up 10. They already had a 6-2 bench because they didn't have enough backs to fill up the bench, and they lost their 10 and 12 to injury in that first half. So I think Bay of Plenty just don't have the squad depth to cope with losing their first and second choice pivots. I don't think any of the provinces really have got the depth to do that. And hence Otago, who have turned the ship around since losing their opening couple of games, and have won 4 out of their last 5 games. I think I'm backing Otago to win by 5. Now, you've got to remember that also included a win over Auckland last round on Friday night. Impressive, as that was Auckland's first loss of the season. So Otago clearly doing some things pretty well. Had a chat with Matt Fadders. So go back and have a look at my wrap-up if you want to have an interview with Matt Fadders around how Otago won that one. I was also at the Bay of Plenty game, so if you want to hear about how the post-match Bay of Plenty interviews, you can get it from last week and go back to that, my wrap-up as well. It's all there. Also, next up then on Thursday night, Wellington host Auckland. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Obviously, Auckland coming off the back of their first loss of the tournament, which has seen them drop to 3rd in the Premiership table. They're out of home semi-finals positions with just one loss. Admittedly, they've got a game in hand, but still, Wellington, who sit in 4th, who on 27 points, with North Harbour on 24 points just behind them. North Harbour have got an outside chance of making it into the playoffs now. So Wellington will be really wanting the win here to keep North Harbour at bay. Auckland really need the win here to get to keep pressure on Canterbury and Tasman, and to keep it close enough so that when they do play their game in hand, they can climb back into that home finals position. Auckland off the back of a loss to Otago, and prior to that, just a 1-point win over Taranaki with a late kick from memory. The Wellington off a loss against Tasman at home, which so clearly they're not in a great way either. The way to deal with Wellington is up front. Their backs are absolutely devastating. So if you let them have front foot ball, you're in trouble. I'm going to back Auckland by 3, so not with a lot of confidence, but I think they'll bounce back after that loss. As I say, I think the template for beating Wellington is now out there with that Tasman victory. Friday night's game sees Hawke's Bay take on Manawatu. Now, Hawke's Bay really again in the battle for playoff positions. They're third currently in the championship, on the same points as Northland. So battling out, but only 2 points ahead of Otago. So Northland, Hawke's Bay, Otago really fighting it out for the what's what I'm looking for the home semi-final berth. Waikato on 27 points, got a slight margin, but they're going to need to keep picking up points. So Hawke's Bay looking for the win here. Manawatu did pick up that win over Bay of Plenty. As I said, Bay of Plenty really having injury issues at the moment. So I think I'm going to back Hawke's Bay by 5 to get the victory over Manawatu, who haven't had a great season this season. Definitely not, especially after opening win. They would have been looking for a much better season than this. Saturday's first game, 2 o'clock game or 2:35 game. The afternoon game sees Northland hosting Waikato. Waikato top of the log in the championship. Northland in those finals positions, with Bay of Plenty probably dropping out and away. So I think I do think the 4 teams are going to be Waikato, Northland, Hawke's Bay, and Otago. The question is, can Northland get themselves that home semi-final? Waikato on a run now of 5 wins on the trot, looking very impressive. And so I'm going to back Waikato by 7 and say that I'm going to be up there for that game. I mean, Northland did get a good win at the weekend over Counties Manukau. They beat Premiership opposition, which is obviously very good for them. But yeah, I think they'll find Waikato a different beast on the weekend. North Harbour then host Counties. North Harbour up and down season, so won their opening game, lost the next 3, but have managed to put 3 wins together back to back now over Bay of Plenty, Hawke's Bay, and Taranaki. So 2 championship games, admittedly. Counties having a rough old season, I say, in that relegation battle with Taranaki. Their only wins so far this season have been against Hawke's Bay and Southland, 2 sides in the championship. They've lost to Bay of Plenty and to Northland recently. It was only by 4 points, Northland, admittedly, but even so, I think they're going to find North Harbour at home far too difficult, and I'm backing North Harbour by 7 to keep their finals push going. Coming on down then, and if Wellington have lost, then North Harbour will really be in a good, strong position then. Canterbury then host Taranaki. Taranaki obviously are on a run of 5 losses. Canterbury have lost twice this season, to be fair, to Tasman away and Auckland at home. But those are the top 2 sides in the competition. Let's be honest, Taranaki are far from that this season, and you've got to say this is going to be an absolute thumping. Looking at Canterbury's last couple of games, they beat Otago by 22 points away. They beat Hawke's Bay by 25 points. So, look, they are racking up some big old scores, and I'm backing Canterbury by 20 in this game, going a bit large against Taranaki. Perhaps should have gone 15, but hey, I think Canterbury racking up some really big scores. Into Sunday then, and we have 2 games from the bottom of the South Island. First up, Southland hosting Bay of Plenty. Bay of Plenty now on a run of 5 losses. Southland not having won in 2 years now. Really has been tough for them. They did play some nice rugby against Waikato. They can, when they get the ball, they can really play a bit. And I think with Bay of Plenty having those injury problems, I mean, let's be honest, I interviewed Tom from there, who was their hooker. Now he is on loan from Canterbury because Bay of Plenty had so many injuries. So you've got to say that, having lost also their first and second choice pivots, 10s, I think they really are going to be struggling. And I'm going to get back Southland by 3 to pick up their first win in 2 years. Finally, Otago hosting Tasman. Now, Otago will really be hoping that they have got that win over Bay of Plenty. That cements themselves that playoff position, because against Tasman, they really are going to have it tough. And you've got to say, Tasman should win this and keep the pressure on Auckland for the top of the table in the Premiership. And I'm backing Tasman by 7. So that's how I see the games going this weekend, or this round. Please let me know your thoughts down below as to see how you see it all panning out. I will be back hopefully on Sunday with my wrap-up. And I say I will be at the Northland versus Waikato game. So keep an eye at DrivingMaul on Twitter on Saturday for all my tweets and live videos from that game.